Today I'm taking you inside a real composition session. I will show you the sketch as it unfolds, sped up so you save time, but I will pause to break down the key ideas along the way. Sounds good? Let's dive right in. So first of all, you are seeing a timer up in the corner. That is the real session length. And I've sped up this video here 8 times, so you can watch the whole sketch unfold quickly, but still get a sense of how long the ideas actually took to develop. So let's stop here and let's listen to the theme idea. Okay, so that is a solid idea, I think, and now I want to go into a complementary section, almost like a B section. So let's write something that can work nicely against this first line of the sketch. Okay, so next let's add a basic harmony, and yes, major and minor triads are your friends here. Actually, they are your most trusted companion when you start out with harmony. You're seeing already that I bring in different positions of the same triads. This is really just to close the distance between the melody on top and harmony below. And I'm already using some chord tone substitutions, mainly to add additional color. But you're seeing that I'm sticking to 3 parts for harmony throughout the whole sketch. Actually, I will play you harmony isolated in just a second so that you get to hear the motion that we can create with those position changes of the same triads. And now, while we are at it, let's also listen to both lines combined so that you get an idea of the first starting point that I reached after around 12 minutes. Quick pro tip. Work in stages and make copies of your ideas. This way you work in a non-destructive way and you can always go back to your initial ideas and develop them differently should you want to revisit them in other places of your composition. Now I'm only developing harmony because I was quite happy with the melody, and those structures shown in blue, they are the result of one of my most favorite composition techniques, that is scaling. I will show you what this sounds like in a second, but let me tell you already that scaling usually leads to a very romantic sound that reminds of the old Disney style. I'm a big fan of that. That is also why I love this technique. I'm trying to stay out of the melody's rhythm with my chords, mainly to maintain transparency between both sections. So one of my main goals with harmony is always to let it develop its own life so that it also sounds complete and makes sense when you listen to the harmony parts just isolated, and we will do this in a second. You can really see me going back and forth because sometimes, you listen back to an idea, you're not happy with it. That is all part of the creative process. But the idea is to get to the results as quickly as possible. And that is where technique comes in very handy. And these blue structures here keep showing up quite often now. So my initial goal or idea was to use scaling in every bar. Now I can let you know already I didn't succeed on that. But anyway, so let's just see what happens. So we are now around 27 minutes into the session, and you can really see me burn some, mental calories on how to solve these musical issues here. Let me mention quickly, if you want to know how I picked those chord tone substitutions, I've actually made another video about that, and I will link to that video in the description box below. Even though I started with simple diatonic structures like triads, I now focus way more on the horizontal flow and creating strong parts, meaning good melodies that make up harmony later. So that is actually what sounds better. So here we are now working on the last bar, and I think we are close to listening to the harmonic development. Just a few minor tweaks here and there, but now let's roll. And for the sake of being complete, here is the finished developed sketch. I hope you enjoyed this format, and if you did, drop me a comment below and let me know. And if you ever need a hand with your own composing journey, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help.